Where do you want to see him?
Well, I would actually love to see if Tom came on TV and said, I'm walking away from the game and I'm going to re-salvage my marriage.
What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. NFL playoffs are here, so we had to bring in a guest who could help us elevate our football knowledge a bit here on the show. We have former NFL running back Rashad Jennings. Welcome to the Courtside Club.
I appreciate you having me on. How you doing today?
I'm good. I appreciate you coming on my show. I was on your show, The Bag, which was super fun. We got to talk about sports and business and entrepreneurship. And today we're going to talk about sports and entertainment, if you're down.
Let's do it. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on in The Bag. Blessing our podcast too, by the way.
It was fun. So first off, have you been watching the NFL playoffs or the wild card round?
Yeah, I have. I've got a chance to catch up on the games. During the season, I didn't get a chance to watch every single game, but the playoffs I try not to miss. There's been some exciting games so far. The Jaguars and Giants stand out to me, obviously, because I played for both teams. So seeing Jacksonville come back 27-0 down in the second quarter. I ain't gonna lie. I got in the car because I had to drive an hour. I got in the car and I said, you know what? I'm turning this off. I'm leaving.
It was one of those.
Yeah, seriously. I was pissed. I'm like, man. And sure enough, I cut the game back on and it was 27-14. I'm like, okay, we got a shot, man. Let me tune back in. Next thing I know, it's 31-30. We won. I couldn't believe it. That's the biggest comeback. A lot of people are going to be able to ride that game. For a minute, I'll tell you what, Jacksonville has done this the entire season. Jacksonville has beat every single team that they shouldn't by the book. And they've lost to every team that they should have beat by the book. So in the playoffs, quote unquote, they are supposed to lose every game. So hopefully they keep up their routine and beat everybody they shouldn't and make it to the Super Bowl.
Why do you think that is, that they're losing, or they were losing to the teams that they shouldn't have lost to because they just took them too lightly?
I mean, possibly. Sometimes when you play against a better team, you obviously feel the need to prove something, and you bring your A game. And a lot of times when you're playing teams that you technically should beat, you don't prepare as hard. It's by nature, until you become a true professional and you treat every single team like they are the best team. And you create a different standard. But I tell you right now, Jacksonville is playing on a high. I think they got the guys in the right place. They finally got the good coach. Trevor Lawrence is obviously the future of the team. He's finally coming into his own. So it's sky's the limit right now for Jacksonville. The only thing they need to do is get rid of that pool in the stadium, and that'd be all right.
Okay, wait. So we have Jacksonville, we have New York. What team surprised you this season? Any?
Surprise is New York, or how well they've played. They've surpassed a lot of people's expectations this year. I think everybody saw them as just being kind of competitive. I wouldn't have imagined that somebody would have selected them to be where they are right this second. I'm sure some guys in the locker room, to be honest, they wouldn't say it, but didn't expect them to be where they are right now. But the coach, the team, the leadership, the consistency, believing in each other, the attitude and the culture in the locker room, I mean, it can prevail a lot. And we're watching the team and play scrappy and understand that, pound for pound, maybe they now don't have the best team as far as roster, but they have a belief, they have a will, they have a drive and great leadership, and that could take you further than talent anyway. So Tampa Bay has surprised me. How many games they won? I thought they was going to lose more. The Bills surprised me too. I knew they were going to be good, but I didn't think they was going to be that sound. And the 49ers, their defenses surprised me. I knew they were going to be good, but not that good. They've been playing outstanding this entire season, and right now they're the front runner. They're the team to beat.
I want to go back to the Bucs for a second because I know you have strong feelings about Tom Brady. Maybe go against the grain a little bit. But what did you expect from his season this year? Obviously, he started off rough. Everybody's talking about his personal life. None of us really know what's going on.
When we start talking about anybody's personal life, it could get touchy. And so, I tread those waters gently, but from the optic, which as a human, that's what you get a chance to speak from, the optic of the situation that he found himself in. I thought he was going to have a horrible season, which, that's an opinionated gesture anyway, whether it was good or bad. However, I thought he was going to lose more games than he actually won. Personally, it seemed like it would be very difficult to go through a divorce publicly at that during the season, and it happened at the beginning of the season as well. He missed 15 days of camp, handling personal stuff, not flying out with the team for personal reasons. And then you see the optics of missing some time with his team to go to another team's coach wedding thing. Owner's wedding and stuff. Because I'm thinking to myself, there's nowhere in the world you can go through a divorce and still have that type of focus, presence, and ability to give your energy to a game, like physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, because love hurts. And, when you lose somebody like that, I can't imagine. So he shocked me.
Did you hear his last interview after the Cowboys game?
What'd he say?
Basically, just gratitude. Like, I appreciate all of your guys' support, but kind of said nothing about, we'll be back and stronger next season. So a lot of people are kind of speculating like, oh, he's out of there. I mean, like he's not coming back here. And even from that last interview, what do you think is next for Tom Brady?
Tom's a guy that it's really hard to read. He doesn't give people much. He doesn't put his personal stuff in his business, which was, again, his divorce. Going public definitely wasn't his choice. At the beginning of the season, his tweet said, something to the effects of the love and support of his family, and it has enabled him to play another season, so forth and so on. And then meanwhile, going through a divorce, so something don't add up. So I don't blame him for keeping it PC. However, I think he's going to evaluate life over again. I don't know where the guy's head is. However,
where do you want to see him?
So I would actually love to see, if Tom came on TV and said, I'm walking away from the game and I'm going to re-salvage my marriage, because my love for the game may only last another year or two max. But my love and for my family will last the remaining years of my breath. And that's more important. That message is something that the world needs to hear. So selfishly, because I personally believe marriage is very important. Way more important than sports. So I would love to see that, selfishly, because the messages that I preach to people, encourage people with on, how important marriage is, it would solidify that a great is realizing that, all the accolades, all the success, all the money, all the attention, all the praise, all the records do not replace love, intimacy, and marriage. So that's what I would like to see them two come together in the name of love. I maybe didn't expect that from a former athlete, but is that something you played in the NFL for almost 10 almost
years?
A decade, almost.
Yeah.
I snuck 8 in,
which is a long career in the NFL. What kept you going? Was it something like that where, and I'll take it back to me, right? I didn't play professionally, but my dad always instilled in me, like, if I would have a bad game and I would get really upset over it, right? he would say, remember that no matter what happens on the court, you can have the worst game. Like, that's actually the least important thing. You know, you go home and you still have, like, your mom and I still love you. You got friends, you're healthy. And so he would always tell me, because I would get so worked up, like my whole life depended on whatever game that I had, you know, it's high school, college, whatever. When you were in the league, what got you through those games? Was it something like that? Or did you kind of have that attack mode at all times?
I would say what got me through was a lot of different things. So I was passionate about playing the game just to prove my dad wrong. When I was younger, my dad drank a lot and smoked a lot. I won't get into all the little details, but our relationship kind of was at a stalemate because I didn't like the fact that he wasn't there for me in a way that I wanted him to be. Physically, he was there, which made a big difference in my life, believe it or not. Just him, a man's presence makes a difference. He asked me, he said, Rashad, because I asked him, I was like, Dad, why can't you stop drinking and smoking to be there for me? And he looked at me when I was like 13 years old. He said, Rashad, what you want to do one day when you get older? And I looked at him and I said, I want to play running back in the NFL. And I was this fat, overweight, chubby kid. Like, it's no way in the world you would have looked at me and thought any of that. I was a fifth string running back in high school, just to give everybody a perspective. And he said, he looked at me, he took a puff of his smoke, sip of his drink, said, Rashad, you think you'll be able to make it to the NFL without drinking and smoking yourself? Kind of like arrogantly, who are you to question me or ask me,
Right.
my own home, what I need to be doing as a father? And, you know, I'm a little squirt. So with tears in my eyes, I looked at him. I said, just to prove you wrong, I'm never going to do it. And 37, I made it to the NFL. I've never drank before. I never smoked before a day in my life. And, you know, it was, and trust me, our relationship had a major U-turn, major 360. And me and my dad had a great time with each other before he passed now 3 years ago. And so with that being said, one of the things that kept me going was, and still is today, I actually want to be a great leader to my family from the grave. And I can't do that unless I'm very conscious of the decisions I make while I'm blessed to still breathe on this side. So legacy is something that's huge to me. One day when I have kids here soon, I want to be able to teach them things that I've been through and teach through experiences. And it's going to be very difficult for me to teach if I don't push myself to a limit, to see that limit and be able to share that experience with my kids, right? Like, I don't want to share from assumptions of pushing yourself really hard. I want to share from experience of actually physically seeing. I don't want to tell my kids about what the Grand Canyon looks like. I want to go to the Grand Canyon, see it myself, so I can vividly explain what the Grand Canyon looks like. So, you know, teaching from experience is the best. And so experiencing what it's like to be alone. I've experienced that in the NFL. I mean, alone. Nobody around you, no friends, in a 1-bedroom apartment, coming back and all, to yourself every day. And the only friends you got really is the fruit flies coming off the fruit. And so I really dedicated myself to working my tail off just to be average in the NFL. And so my gameplay, is average. And I had to work extremely hard, way harder than a lot of other people just to do that. And so with that said, those are the things that kind of kept me motivated, and still even today.
Can I say that I think it's impressive for the fact that you were so young, you were 13, and you were able to, you were externally motivated because you wanted to prove something to your dad, but that had to take a lot for you at 13 to make that decision right there. because a lot of us are mostly influenced by our parents, and we follow in their footsteps, or we're like, oh, well, I can just do that too. It is what it is. This is how my life has panned out for me, whatever. I can start drinking and smoking now, and it is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
But I've talked to a lot of people on the show, and even Jalen Rose is somebody who comes top of mind because a similar situation as to you, his dad wasn't in his life, but his dad was playing professional basketball, and he saw that from afar. And then he had the motivation, like, well, I'm going to do this on my own then. He didn't have anybody there. He, found coaches and that along the way, but at a young age kind of turned it on. But then you see somebody who's like Steph Curry, right? His dad played ball and he followed right under that, which is probably what you would create for your kids, in the future. But it's interesting, and I think it's very impressive and makes for a great and inspiring story too.
Yeah, it's humbling, looking back on it, and I'm thankful that I did have people that believed in me before I knew who I was, right? And two older brothers that kind of like wouldn't let me make excuses because I was always looking for them, Lord knows. And it's important to take ownership. That's one of the biggest things I've learned is taking ownership over your decisions and responsibility. And the more responsibility you take, the more life you have. The more responsibility you give to another individual, the less life you have. And it can become very cagey. You feel small when you don't have responsibility. And I could have looked at that situation, and a lot of people would have understood why if I started drinking a lot and, angry and frustrated and pissed, and it would have made sense. Oh, well, his dad did this, right? And so, but no, I took ownership and I used it as an opportunity of realizing what I didn't want to be. I'm humble, but I think, why me? Why was I fortunate enough to think through things the way I did, and how the things fell in place like it did? I'm very humble, but I could have got hurt at any point in time. And that's why I give praise to God. I really do, because I've asked God to do things in my life that I know I cannot take credit for. And I can't take credit for a lot of my success. And not. I'll tell you that right this second. But
you can give yourself a little credit.
I try, I work, I do what I can, but yeah. I will say something that I live with is you get on your knees and you pray like it all depends on God, and then you get off of your knees and you work like it all depends on you. And somewhere between doing both, you'll find fate. You can't find fate with only doing one. Just working hard as you possibly can, or just praying as much as you possibly can. I think it really takes both.
Have you been betting with the Caesars Sportsbook and Casino app? If so, keep it up, because every bet earns with Caesars Rewards. That means win or lose, you're getting closer to amazing perks like game tickets, free stays, bonuses, and more. And if not, well, when you get started, your first bet is on Caesars. Register with promo code OMAHAFULL and place your first bet, up to $1,250. If you win, congrats. If you don't, you'll get your stake back as a free bet.
You talk about getting hurt. You could have gotten hurt. You did get hurt a couple times in your NFL career. And I feel like for whatever reason, this season in the NFL, there have been multiple scary injuries that I don't know if it's because I'm in tuned more, or, the media and the NFL is like heightening them more. But I haven't seen these kind of injuries in the past. We had Tua, and then we had DeMar Hamlin, and then Gage. And I want to hear from your perspective. Obviously, playing in the NFL for as long as you did, it is a dangerous sport. Do you think that there's anything that the NFL can or will do moving forward to help protect their players even more?
That's a good question. It's a loaded question. The health of players matter. I don't think the NFL can do much, because it's such a physical contact sport. It's a collision sport. It's not contact. Basketball is contact. Uh, NFL is collision sport. And so there always, forever will be catastrophic injuries. So I think the NFL can do anything lawfully, the policies with the rules. They've tried. They changed some of the helmets, the technology. A lot of money has went into research. They've changed practice. They've changed the rules of tackling. They've clamped down on finding athletes. I mean, you almost got to play two-hand touch to get a sack now. So one of the things they can do is make every single field grass. That's the first thing that they can do. There will be a study to come out at some point that explains the injury rates and how the effects of running on rubber is not good for athletes. We're going to see the injuries, the injury rate of athletes are partly due to the field and the surface that they play on. We're not designed to play on no freaking rubber.
Yeah, so Rashad, explain to me the difference between, playing on a turf field versus real grass and what difference that makes.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but it seems like it would be common sense. Athletes playing on rubber versus grass doesn't make sense. However, it does if you watch the dollar financially speaking. The owners benefit from artificial turf because the maintenance is cheaper. It looks more aesthetic, possibly, for an eyeball to the audience, right? To the stand for those that are fans of the game, consuming the game. And maybe it looks prettier, but to the athletes do a vote, do a poll, and ask athletes: would you rather play on turf or grass? And I guarantee you about 80% will say grass. Maybe even 90. I truly believe this is all a financial driven data collective gesture from owners of, collecting the data, seeing the data, understanding the data says athletes that play on rubber, artificial grass, will eventually have an injury. They become more injury prone. Their body softens up over time because we're not designed to play on this surface. So they won't have longevity if they're running physically. Now, quarterback, guess what? They don't run like a majority of the athletes out there. Right. And those who do magically, they put themselves in more injury risk for sure. But these soft tissue injuries that happen on a constant basis, with the way the athletes train today, is insane. The injuries for lower body, and athletes are saying it already. However, the mainstream media hasn't picked it up, and it's not going to be an issue or a wave of a strike or anything until, it's something that is constantly pumped out by everybody.
I think it's something that's at least being brought to the forefront, and more athletes who come out and talk about it, it will force a change if need be. I guess I'm optimistic in that. Yeah.
It will over time. The same things as studies were done with concussions, and it took a while before, it came to the forefront. It took a while before people realized that smoking cigarettes weren't good for you. Back in the 60s, they had commercials with doctors choosing doctors smoke Camels. It's like, what are we talking about? But it'll take a minute. But yeah, these injuries, a lot of these injuries happen due to playing on rubber.
Rashad, I want to quickly take a halftime break. I want to get more into kind of what you did for your body in your playing career and what you've done after your playing career after. But first, if you're down for a little game.
Yeah, let's do it.
So today, I want to help you create your dream team Pro Bowl team.
Let's do it.
So I have a list of positions. You can choose current or retired players to fill these positions.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
We're going to start off on the offensive side. You're running back. Who you got?
One running back, Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. Okay. Wide receiver. This is the only position I'm going to let you have 2.
All right, Larry Fitzgerald. And to compliment him, I like to get Randy Moss.
Okay. Tight end.
Tight end, Travis Kelce.
Okay. One person on the line. It can be anywhere on the line, offensive line.
Orlando Pace.
And now your quarterback.
That's on the kind of ball I want to play.
Talk me through it.
All right, so with the quarterback, it depends if I want to try to run a gun this thing. It depends on, what am I playing against other Pro Bowlers? Am I playing? Is this? I don't know. I will be safe. I'll be safe and just pick somebody that I know is versatile and can play everywhere, especially with these type of guys. I'll go with Peyton Manning.
Okay. We have Peyton in the quarterback spot. And so we're assigning you as coach. So
Okay.
you can run the plays and do whatever how you want.
Okay.
All right, we're going to the defensive end now with our defensive end.
Who would I put on the edge? I think Reggie White is one of the best coming off that edge. He was different. So I'm gonna pick him, and he's a great leader.
Cool. What about the D-line?
In the trenches, oh man. In the trenches, it can get tough. I go ahead. I'll pick Aaron Donald. I like having him out there.
That's a good choice. Linebacker.
Linebacker, Ray Lewis.
Okay. And I have your corner or your safety.
Yeah, I would have to go with. That's tough. I like Troy Polamalu. I like Dawkins. I like Reed. Either one of them will work. I'll go ahead and pick. That's tough. You know what? I'm gonna pick Dawkins. I'm gonna pick Brian Dawkins.
Okay. And last but not least, we have our kicker. Had a lot of missed field goals, both in college football and NFL football lately. Who's gonna hold it down for your team?
I'm gonna go with Justin. I'm gonna go with Tucker. I like how he's doing. I like how he's been for his entire career. He's been clutch. So I'm gonna stick with him.
Rashad Jennings, Pro Bowl team.
All the players that I picked only have one real wild card, and that's Randy Moss. Everybody else that I picked is a captain, a leader, and has kept themselves in a position of being clean.
You got a good head on your shoulders. It's not the misfits here.
Yeah, that's what you need in order to win. You got to have a locker room full of somebody. You got to have some leaders in there.
All right, cool. Time for the second half. It's the best time of the year. The football playoffs are upon us, basketball and hockey are in full swing, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Make up for lost time and go enjoy a game. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN, is offering you $10 off your first $100 ticket purchase with code Courtside. That's code Courtside. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. So you said Ray Lewis. Did you actually go up against Ray?
I went against him a couple different times. I ran through a few of his arm tackles. There's some pictures out there to show that. I'm excited to have that on my repertoire forever. But
who's the toughest guy you went up against? Was it Ray?
The hardest hitting dude I've ever went against is Clint Session. His name is Clint Session. He played linebacker with the Colts. And then he also played with the Jaguars. And if you ask any running back within his era who was the hardest hitter, they all gonna say Ray Lewis. I mean, they all gonna say Clint Session. He was different. Something was just different about that guy. He was 5'9", I feel like, and 230, wide, dreads, heavy-handed, just a nightmare. And he had to retire though because of too many concussions. So that lets you know what kind of hitting he was doing. He was hitting too hard. He hit you so hard that it's kind of like you get up and start like, bro, really? Like,
did you say that to him before?
Yeah, and what's crazy,
Like, bro,
he was my teammate in college. I played college ball with this cat at Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh. He was there. And so I already knew how hard he could hit because I found out the hard way in college as a freshman. I left. I transferred to Liberty, did my thing, went into the league, and now I'm playing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's with the Colts. So I see him twice a year. And then he came over to Jacksonville, and so now we're teammates again. So I've known this guy for a long time, and he is definitely the hardest hitting dude I've ever went against.
Was there anybody that you played against who talked the most smack on the field?
I mean, some cats just talk, literally, just conversation. Hey, how you doing, man? What's up, bro? You been up to? And then some people talk smack. I will say one of the funniest players that I played with too. I played with a lot of hilarious guys, but Prince Amukamara was hilarious. DRC was hilarious. They were the funniest to like watch, play, and talk trash. I think Burfict talked a lot of trash to people. A linebacker with Cincinnati Bengals. He always had. I think he played with a different type of chip. I think he wanted to like. I think he played to like really kill people if he could. Like I think that was on his mind. I didn't find my way in talking a lot of crazy trash to people because I don't want anybody pissed off at me that's already trying to knock my head out. You know, I'm not gonna add wood to your fire. I'm actually gonna try to talk you out of it. I'll come up to you, hey, how you doing? That was a really good hit. And then as soon as you turn around, I might, punk, whatever. But I'm not going to bring more fuel to the fire is unnecessary.
That makes sense. A little reverse psychology there.
Yeah,
befriend them. So after your NFL playing career, you became a contestant on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
And you won.
Tricked America. They thought I could dance.
No, wait. I had to ask, though, because like from one athlete to another, did you win just because you're competitive?
No, actually, no. I would not contribute me being a competitor with Dancing with the Stars having anything to do with why I won. I'm serious.
Oh, talk me out of it then.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a second when you asked, but being competitive had nothing to do with it. What enabled me to win Dancing with the Stars was a few things. One, I've never seen the show prior to being on it. It's a good thing I didn't because maybe I wouldn't even have chose to be on it. How it happened was, it's pretty funny. So I'm a true autodidact. I'm addicted to learning. I love learning new things. Every single off season, I pick up a new art or craft. After the 8th season, I wanted to learn how to dance. Why? Because I was at one of my buddies' shindigs, having a good time. A commercial popped up, and there was some people sliding across the screen in an elegant way I've never seen. And I was like, yo, that's dope. What is that? And it happened to be that somebody knew, and they said, oh, Rashad, that's ballroom dancing. I said, what the heck is ballroom dancing? And they said, yeah, they're doing the cha-cha. What the heck is a cha-cha? So, knew nothing about it. And every single day I trained from 8 a.m. to about like 1 down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I Googled a ballroom studio nearby. Found one, went in, don't know the etiquettes, don't know the language, don't know the culture. I went in there with a tank top on. You know, I just finished.
Like in your gym clothes.
Gym. Yeah. And I'll pull in and open the door and ding. And everybody's just all daintily, just got their heads all back, looking at the ceiling, holding people. I'm like, what are they doing here? And I looked lost. So the lady was like, sir, can I help you? And I said, yes, I'm looking for the cha-cha, like it was a person. And she said, are you looking to learn how to do the cha-cha? I said, yes, ma'am. That sounds about right. And she pulled me over and she was like, well, we don't have any availability until 2 weeks from today. I was like, perfect. Be back in 2 weeks. Well, a week from that day, Dancing with the Stars called. It was very serendipitous that it happened.
How did they even know to reach out?
So when I was in New York, I was going to Modell's to do an autograph signing. And I had on my headphones, walking in Manhattan. And sure enough, TMZ pulls up on me out of nowhere. And dude was like, yo, Rashad, what's up, man? You ready for the big game this weekend? Yada, yada, yada. Oh, looks like you got some really nice dance moves, man. because I was just doing this. He said, you ever thought about doing Dance with the Stars? Never. I don't know what Dance with the Stars is, but the mic was in front of me. The camera was there. I was like, yeah, sounds like a great idea.
I got to find this video.
Yeah. And somehow that got wave of, them hearing about me. And my name went into, a pool, and sure enough, it just fell into place at the right time. And they called me, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. It sounds like a great opportunity. And I went on the show. The first dance was a cha-cha. And
it was meant to be.
Yeah. I was like, this is it. I'm going to have my cha-cha and I'm out. And found out, you go on week by week by week. I kept learning all kind of different dances. The thing about it, I wasn't trying to win at all. I went on there to actually learn how to dance. And that was it. I come to find out a lot of people actually use it as, publicity to promote things or whatever.
Right.
I sincerely wanted to learn how to dance, and I took it serious.
That's so good.
Dance really grew on me, and I still dance right now today and still teach it, believe it or not. So, dance forever will be a part of my life.
You got free dance lessons and millions of people got to watch you through the process.
Crazy.
I got to ask though, because you said that you were trying something new every offseason. What is the most bizarre hobby that you tried?
I didn't do anything too bizarre.
Fencing is pretty random.
It was.
Yeah.
It definitely was. I enjoyed it, a little bit. I wouldn't continue to do it. But I did train with some high-end people. Archery is something I still do. That was
That's
really
cool.
Fun, for sure. But next year, I'm actually going to do accent classes. The reason why I want to do that is because I want to start messing with people. And when I do interviews, so next year maybe we'll do an interview and I might sound like I'm from France the whole entire time.
That'd be cool.
So it's something I just enjoy learning things. I think it's healthy.
I actually used to do that. It was a game for me when I was younger. If I'd meet strangers out, they would ask me oh, what's your name? And I would say Anna. They're oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Maryland. Oh, what are you doing out in LA? Oh, I go to UCLA. Oh, what are you studying? Biology. It just down the line. And I would just see how far I could go with it. And I would normally go until the conversation was done. They're okay, I'll see you later. Nice meeting you. Nobody would ever know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but my best friend can't lie for anything. And so she would just be standing there laughing because she was just what are you doing? But it was fun for me.
I still do that. I think a lot of people should do it. It's refreshing,
If you're recognizable, though, then it's kind of messed up if people know who you are. And then you go on, and they're wait a second.
Which I found that out the hard way a couple times.
Yeah. So just be careful of that. Before we go into our buzzer beaters, I got to take it back to NFL playoffs one more time. Your Super Bowl prediction.
Jags versus Giants. That's what I want.
I'm
what you want. I'm sticking with it. I want to see it. Both teams I play with have an opportunity to be in the Super Bowl right now, so I'm sticking with it. I want all good jujus on it.
If they're there, though, who are you rooting for?
Whoever has the ball in their hand. That's what I'm cheering for. Whoever has that ball in their hand, that's what I'm cheering for. I'm on the offensive side.
If this happens, you got to get 2 of your jerseys from each team and cut them in half and sew them together. And you have to wear that to the game.
100%. 100%.
All right, Rashad, we are reaching the end of the game, so I have some buzzer beaters for you.
All right, let's do it.
What is your ideal food and drink combo while sitting courtside or fieldside?
That's a toughie. I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go with a classic bison burger. Drink would be a raspberry mint tea.
Very specific. Who is one person, dead or alive, that you would love to sit courtside or fieldside with?
That's specific. It's of courtside because that's a different vibe. So
courtside or fieldside? Because I know you're a football guy, so
somebody just to hang out and kick it with.
At the game, though.
Oh yeah, just at the game. I think Bernie Mac. I would love to have Bernie Mac be courtside with me if I'm going to be in that type of setting, because he would be a riot. 100% Bernie Mac. That's my guy.
Play by play. He just can't play. That would be so fun.
Yeah.
And what is one event in history, it could be a sporting event or other, that you would have loved to have been courtside for?
What event? It'd have been interesting to be at Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. Go with that.
That's the ear one, right?
Yeah, he bit his whole ear.
Yeah.
Bit his ear. Bit his ear. 100%.
Okay, wait. Did you see the gummies that he made?
No, he made gummies out of that.
Okay, so he made these gummies. I just saw it on social media. It says they're called like Tyson Bites or something. It's it's an ear gummy, and it has a chunk out of it.
Tyson is hilarious. He's one of them guys, man. Like, it's a few people's. If I could interview a few people, like collectively, if I could put like 3 people in the room together, like he would be on there. If I could put 3 people in the room and they had to answer questions I asked them, Tyson would be in the room. He would be one of them.
Who are the other 2?
I don't know. Kanye West would be one.
Okay.
And the last one, we could find another like character in this game of life, because they're in this. If life is a game,
yeah.
If you legitimately look at life as a game, these are characters that play this thing differently,
yeah,
and succeed in it. So
maybe Elon. Are you going to put Elon in there?
I wouldn't mind him either. I think he's a character that plays this game a little bit different and succeeds.
No, I get what you're saying. I think that would be entertaining. I'd watch it.
100%.
So when you get that interview set up, let me know. I'll run camera.
Okay. All right, that's a bet.
Cool. Rashad, let people know where they can find you on socials and if there's anything else they should be on the lookout for.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me at all social media handles at Rashad Jennings. No space, no dots, no underscore, just at Rashad Jennings. Every single social media platform. I will be continuing to write books. My first was a New York Times bestseller, and that really opened up the door. So I have plenty more books that are coming out. One of them is called Individualized Words. I'm starting to prepare and get myself ready to be a premarital marital counselor. That's something I want to do in the latter years of my life, which is, again, going back to why I believe marriage is so important. And so please support that. And also, I started a gaming company, Never Lost, as the esports sector of it. I also have an M producing music. I'm working on my second album right now. I'm also doing a lot of co-hosting, podcasting, TV shows, a lot of talk shows right now. I'm having a blast. So if you want to hear a interesting perspective on things, make sure you follow all of my handles, and I'll keep you updated. All the episodes I do.
And we'll need a part 2 to this courtside interview because there's a lot of stuff that we didn't touch on.
Anytime, I'm here.
Season 2, you're coming back.
Perfect.
Cool. Rashad, thank you so much for joining us on Courtside Club. And guys, make sure that you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
What's up, guys? It's Rachel DeMita. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Courtside Club. Make sure that you like, rate, and subscribe to ESPN's YouTube channel and wherever you listen to your podcasts. We have new episodes coming to you guys every single week, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you soon.